All right, so welcome back to another episode with Maunika and Sankalp. In today's episode, who's our guest?
So we're talking to Priyanka Nath, a singer-songwriter based in Hyderabad.
We will talk about her journey, her music journey, from heartbreaks, how she takes those as her motivation or inspiration to write her original music.
What it takes to, be a performer in today's time, performing live, booking gigs and shows, as well as, writing and producing your own music.
Let's go straight to the episode.
Hi. Hello.
Hi, Priyanka.
You are Christine. So let's get this started. Hi, Priyanka, and welcome to our show, What's Your Sankalp, with your host, Maunika and Sankalp. I have to say, I've heard a few of your covers on Instagram, and what a voice. I absolutely love your style of singing, and I do have a favorite language that I like to listen to you in already. But
What's that?
I like
What's that?
English. I like
I haven't
English.
heard any other song. There's a
Oh,
different.
thank you.
I mean, when she sings in Hindi, and
okay.
yeah, I just prefer
Oh,
like
okay.
her English covers a little
Right.
better.
The second person to say that.
Really, I thought more people would say that. I thought you would have like
Usually
gone.
when they hear me sing in English and then they're like, "Whoa!" I'm like, "Yeah, I do that also." Like, you write in English as Hindi.
So where are you, Priyanka? Let's start with maybe you can give us a little bit background of who you are. I mean, by now the people who've seen the trailer hopefully know what you do, but a little elevator pitch that if you have for yourself.
I am a very simply put singer-songwriter, and I perform gigs at a few venues here in Hyderabad, which I did not see happening, turning into this, snowballing into like a gig almost every day of the week 2 years later. And yeah, that's all I do. I make music at home throughout the day, and currently in Hyderabad, but
Yeah.
I'm originally from Assam. But I have never grown up there because we moved soon after to Bombay, Calcutta, Delhi, then Hyderabad, and I went to
Right.
Bangalore to study. And 2020 is when the world slowed down, and even I took my time to uh, delve into music, and it's when it took shape in its full form in 2020. So, yep.
It clearly sounds like you did something else before you found yourself. In music.
Yes, like every other graduate, even I'm like in the search of key, like how to start earning money, what job to do now. And even though there's this little inclination towards the creative side, there's not much confidence to go forward with it. At least for me, there wasn't. And I was looking
Right.
for a job, so I was working at a startup as it was a desk job, and it was a new startup. And 6 months, 2 months into it, I was like, what am I doing at a desk job? This is not me. So I left it, and then this happened.
Did you receive a lot of support from your family? Because I know it isn't easy to, say my like a goodbye to a 9 to 5 and then switch full time into music, which is quite, I wouldn't say maybe not competitive, but there is like a sense of this difficulty, right, in getting recognized, no matter how much you put yourself out there. So
There is definitely, no matter what I've tried to do throughout, like initially it started with modeling back in maybe 11th grade. They've always been, my family, parents have always been supportive. And even with music, they're musicians themselves. So they have been supportive, but to take it forward full-fledged, of course, there was a year's worth of arguments between masters karna hai, ye nahi karna hai. And I was just like, no, if I do that, then I'm going to be wasting my time. Now they're in full support because now they've seen that, okay, you know what, this can happen.
what was the the tipping point that sort of made you take that plunge into the deep end and be like, this is it, like, there's no looking back, and this is what I want to do probably for the rest of my life?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Like you can't have your foot in both boats.
Yeah.
So when did you decide? Okay, let's jump onto one.
I knew for sure I am not, slowly, I started realizing I'm not the kind to just sit in a room and, even though that's what I have to do now, but just sit in a
Yeah.
room and do something that's not me. I have
Right.
always been the very co-curricular kind of kid. So there was dancing, there was modeling, there was singing, and I enjoyed that more than anything. And I think it came from my brother, my elder brother, who took the risk first. I think the elder ones take the risks first,
Yeah,
and then
with
you follow suit.
experimental ones, and then the second one, yeah, the
Yeah,
younger knows that this is safe.
exactly. So he had a similar story. He left his job and he did his own thing. So that took a lot of risk. And the conversations we would have around that time, he's like, I don't want to have a backup, because if I have a backup, I'm going to keep thinking about that and not put in my 110% maybe into the first thing that's in my head. 2020 really helped because there was nothing to do. I left my job and I was fresh out of there, and I came here and the pandemic started. So I was like, instead of hurrying and looking for something else, let's sit. Let's just start that YouTube channel that I've been procrastinating for about 2 years, and let's just go with it and let's see. And well, that's when I wrote my first song, and it just happened. There was no looking back.
Yeah.
It just happened.
Did you say that music runs in your bloodline, your family and everything, or is this you all by yourself?
Oh, it does run in the family. My mom was a professional singer. She used to sing for All India Radio Assam back in her college days. And she still sings way better than I do, to be very honest. And my father, I don't know where the music and when he started singing, but he sings as well, like guitar player. And they would just keep playing music the day when we were young. It started with Asha, and that's it. When I was 7, the first song, which was Gunji Si Hai from Aishwarya Rai's movie.
Right.
And that's it. It's just always been around. And I just started singing as a hobby at home or with mom or whatever.
I was wondering how come you never sung a song in Telugu, because you're in Hyderabad. I was assuming that. But now that you mentioned about your background, it explains. Have you made yourself comfortable with the language yet, or?
To be very honest, no. I don't know if I mentally receive a lot of backlash when I say no, but no, I have not been able to learn it. Or even I don't perform in Telugu, but that's a whole different ballgame over here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I'm sure you realize how drastically your performances or your audience will change once you start singing in Telugu, right? Like that's a larger audience to cater. Is that something?
But no, that's not on my mind, because yes, there is a larger, different audience to play for, but the brand image sort of changes, I feel. Right now, it's just me, so I'm having to take all these decisions, and according to me, this won't be the right move. I primarily write and sing in English. I think the indie artist scene boomed during 2020 because same with me. It was at home. I learned how to produce something here and there, started writing, and there's so many more like me. So I feel like there's a lot more. The support has definitely grown, but it's also to maybe like push out of that noise would be the next big challenge.
When you say a lot of like people like you, what gender are you catering to? Do you think of male artists, or do you also see a lot of female artists coming up in Hyderabad?
I've met both, to be very honest. And some have come a very long way, and they'd say that 2020 is when I started. I'm like, whoa.
But what about the transition from a desk job to where literally no one's looking at you because you're in a cubicle, in your corner, to on stage performing? How does that feel? And like you prefer being an independent artist, which means all the focus is on you, right? You're the spotlight. So
there was never, because like I've been saying, right, in school, college, so throughout my life, at that point in time, I was always a part of co-curricular activities. I couldn't see school or college without it. In fact, even when I joined my college, I'm like, oh, okay, they have this, cool. Forget the studies, okay. But first, this dance team, they're a fashion team. So my eyes were on them, and it was not new for me to be up on a stage and do something. The desk job was a big hit. I call it a desk job, but if anyone from the team is watching this ever, this is really sad. But it was a very big transition. That's when it hit me. I'm not this person who sits inside a room. I like to put myself out there. I like to perform, to be very honest, and be up on a stage. So it was not new to me. In fact, I took it away from myself. So that's what happened.
Your motivation or your inspiration for your original music that you've lately been creating, you mentioned in your Instagram, Heartbreak was a platform, or
was the reason, the trigger that
trigger.
That's what,
let's talk about that.
I mean, they actually get to know because I'm always there introducing my songs as, hey, so this happened when this time and this dude left and all. I'm always there just very openly talking about the background of a song. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. We'll find out years later. But
Yeah.
yes, primarily heartbreaks, primarily. And
Plural or singular?
plural.
Okay.
Plural for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
We don't want
but
one guy to feel the pressure, so I want to, spread it out.
yes, and surprisingly, the one of the songs "Run," which is out there, I the experience, the entire thing happened a couple of years before I wrote the song. So that
Right.
was very surprising that I could actually bring that or still again put myself back into that time and then write
Right.
about it. But it's also the only way I can, it's like diary writing for me, to be very
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
In a way, the lyrics are therapeutic for me. And then when it goes out into the world, it's even better for me.
Yeah. So talking
This is
about,
very interesting because I want to bring up there are artists like, Taylor Swift, Adele, and it's mostly women who get a lot of flack for, writing about their dating life or, which is what probably every artist does, right? It is
Yeah.
personal and, they do take inspiration from real life events. But
Mhm.
when a female artist comes out and says, yeah, this is, from, and then they sort of receive a lot of criticism for it. So have you ever faced that?
I haven't yet, but I had the same thought in my head a few days ago. I don't know if it's because they don't talk about it before doing the song. Like, yes, there are almost, and I think heartbreaks it's a largely written about topic. I personally speak about it and I put it out there that, hey, this is because personally, I'm like, if I have nothing to hide from my mother, I have nothing to hide from the world. So I'm
Yeah.
okay. For now, I'm okay sharing it. I know somebody a close friend of mine whose songs have only been about his one heartbreak, but he's never spoken about it. I think that's because they don't speak about it, I think, as openly as maybe some of the female artists. And I've only seen a female artist do it. So yeah. And yeah, I do draw a lot of inspiration from the one who speaks about it a lot or writes about it a lot.
I was thinking if Pratik Kuhar talks about it or he doesn't. Or he does write heartbreak.
Yeah, they do, but I haven't seen them actively, or maybe even, at that level, I don't know if you'd actively talk about it. You just assume from the song, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right now, I have the platform and the liberty to share an entire
Yep.
story. If it's an intimate gig, I can like tell them, take them through the story. Also, because I'm an indie artist, so they have to like really feel me and like relate or something. So I take them through the journey.
That's what I was about to say. When you talk about it, your audience, you have piqued their interest and then they sort of start connecting and relating. And it's difficult as a new artist to just enter a room and start singing and then expect them to connect, right? If you don't share how it all began.
No, I was just thinking because after reading your, your Instagram bio and everything, like it's so beautiful for someone like, an artist to put content based on their failures, not failures or setbacks or, the lowest points of their life.
Yeah, something
into
probably,
into something so beautiful through a voice like a singer, through a YouTube content video or, motivational videos that a lot of people do now.
And honestly, these are the emotionally damaging stories are what really connect to people and, sort of foster that human connection that we all look for. And then we feel, oh, I'm not alone or someone else has also been through this.
Yeah, exactly.
I did receive a few messages saying, hey, man, I totally related to that one song. It is emotionally damaging. It is for a long time, it pulls you down. And only because to me, naturally, it comes in the form of lyrics or whatever. I put it out there as songs. But I'll be honest, it's very, it drags you down. I surprised myself by sitting by myself, drinking a glass of beer, and then I started writing amidst all the crowd and the music that was going around. And I actually put out two songs, which was Oh Darling and Stay With Me. And I felt much better after I wrote those songs. same happens even now, where if I'm thinking, I mean, it's not like I'm heartbroken now and I'm sad and all of that, but an idea blossoms during that peak moment, and maybe either I don't have the emotional bandwidth or the energy to work on it back at that time. A few months later, it comes back to me, and then I write on it again, which is what happened with this new song that I'm writing. But yes, I wouldn't deny it does. I mean, I'm human. It definitely pulls me down, and it puts me away from work, which scares me. But thank God I can come back and write about it.
I also I want to ask, so this makes me wonder, do you sort of like ever feel, burnt out when because emotionally, you take all of that from yourself, like whenever you sit down to write, maybe not every day, every other day, I don't know your process of work, but then do you ever feel burnt out doing the same thing over and over and also pulling from that like emotional place?
It is. I've had a couple of people be like, Priyanka, just like two more heartbreaks and you're good to go. Like two albums. I'm like, listen, as much as this might look like, yes, like, why is it that she only keeps going through heartbreaks? But it just so happens, circumstances don't work out, something happens, la la la. It doesn't get emotionally exhausting to write about it. At that point, the situation is emotionally exhausting, but to write about it brings in the excitement sometimes, brings back, like I said, it's healing for me. It's almost therapeutic. I was recording the first song, I recorded the last line, and I was almost in tears in the studio because this was it. It was almost as though now the message is out in the world. I said what I had to say, and I'm feeling better. It's off my chest. So no, it doesn't get emotionally exhausting to write about it. I do get burnt out while in the midst of all of this work, and then trying to balance writing and everything in the daytime, going to a gig in the night. The burnout has happened twice so far, and I think it's high time I take a little off from it, but not from writing. Never.
How has it been to, establish yourself, trying to get those events and shows and people to let you perform on their stage? How difficult has that process been, or has it easily come to you because of your incredible talent?
Getting the gigs, it started from 2021. I had done a gig here and there while I was in Bangalore, and I knew that I wanted to do it again. I wanted to be up on that stage and sing a few songs. Now, I didn't know that it was a full booming business in a city like Hyderabad, or even like otherwise in the country. And I just put myself out at this venue that I still perform at, called Fat Pigeon. My friend said, hey, they do live music here. And I'm like, okay. Go speak to the manager, do a demo, get the gig. And next thing I know, it's become a weekly thing. Next thing I know, a few months later, some other venue approaches me. And that's how it started it turned into 6 days a week now. But I wouldn't recommend that in the long run. But
does this now feel like the same desk job? I'm just kidding, like 9 to
very
5.
odd.
The effort and the energy that you now have to put in, or is it still blissful and happy, beautiful moments for you?
I won't lie to you, it does get tiring. Because these are like late nights. And even though it's just a 3-hour show, but you're just physically just there. Even if on a low day, if I'm like, today I'm just going to take it easy. But as soon as there's an energy exchange with the audience, even you get all pumped up and you're like, okay, you know what, let's just do that song. Let's give it our best. And if it keeps repeating every day I've been gigging 6 days a week for the past 10 months back to back.
Wow.
It does. Yes, I just calculated yesterday, like how long have I been going on with the 6 days a week schedule, which again, like I said, I wouldn't recommend because it drains you. It drains you. And you should maybe like take a step back if you have other work to tend to during the daytime. If not, go for it. According to me, yeah, maybe take a break.
You did this to yourself
I
by
did this.
yeah.
And I didn't know what I was getting myself into. At that
Because
point,
when opportunities come, it's scary to not take them, right? Sometimes, because when will you get that chance again? So is that why you have to go for it?
Yeah, one by one they started coming, and I couldn't say no. But that's also one thing I try to learn how to say no to which gig and say yes to what. Also at that point in time, I was overworking myself because there was this music video that I was working on, and I had to like fund it a little bit. So I was like, you know what, let's just do it. Let's just work, put the money there. That's what we
Yeah,
do.
money. That's the word.
Yeah.
So you,
But to answer your question, yes, it does start feeling like a corporate cycle
yeah,
because you're in it month after month. Your schedule is the whole month. The next month, say, is already booked a week or 2 weeks before the next month even begins. And you're just in that thinking, okay, yes, I'm free, done. If you don't say no, the next month is off, booked, and like you don't have space anywhere to do whatever you want to. A very conscious decision to make. So yeah, it does
is
feel
it?
like corporate.
I mean, this question that I want to ask is the same for both of us, maybe as well. But is that still exciting for you then, knowing that what's coming up in the next few months down the line? There's no excitement left, is it? The event, the experience of the event will be obviously beautiful, like Zomaland or some other thing. But the excitement, right? You already know where you're going.
No, I don't know when I'm going to play a next festival. I
Okay.
hope to. I have to work my way up there. Um, no, I don't know what my next big thing is. Also, I don't have a manager looking out for these things. So I'm here trying to like think and sit. And even I'm still learning. It's just 2 years into this, and I'm still learning. So I don't know when my next big thing would be.
Yeah.
Luckily thing for that matter happened. It was a very last minute thing for me.
Okay.
But it was good.
Yeah, I'm just wondering how do the people who are, well established in it, you are already kind of are because you've been here for a while now. Maybe you don't feel that yet, but how do they do it out there, with so many, not just performing, but also promoting themselves, selling themselves out there on social media? And that's when you comes into the picture where you need to have a bigger team, right? Someone else doing the social media for you, and then events and bookings and all of that. Then it helps you to, focus
Take
on
the time just to write music or
Yep.
produce.
Yeah.
I do think about it. And I believe when the time will come, I will be able to get a team together. But it's also about finding the right people. You don't want a team that'll hold you back with regards to timelines or work.
Right.
So I think I haven't found the right people. And as of now, yes, I do sometimes feel I wish somebody would do this, but I haven't found the right people.
What are your coping mechanisms for this burnouts that you have? Fitness is something that I've seen. What are the things that you do in your life? Music is something that I guess she goes to get ourselves out of those Monday to Friday work. But you do that for a really long time. So what do you do to get out of that?
Burnout. It's a wave. What has been happening the last 2 times is when I'm at the top of that wave, the burnout wave, I am unable to take a break because, like I said, everything's already scheduled and packed. And things have to move, things have to be in motion. And then slowly I ride that wave and things settle down and I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't need a break. At that point, I'll just be complaining, I need to take a break, but when? But after it happened the second time, I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter if you rode the wave and you're out of it. I took out time to go away for one weekend, and I'll do that next week. That's my way of maybe coping. This thing of like keep working, hustle culture was so like put in our heads when
we've forgotten how to we've forgotten slow living and sort of appreciating just having a moment to relax and
fast food, fast life kind of thing has become now where you regret or feel bad that
feel guilty, right? That guilt
guilt,
that
yeah.
keeps like gnawing at you. If you're not doing something productive, then you're like, I'm not doing
productive. Yes, I think, but it has to be a very conscious decision to just like yesterday was one of those days. Some song wasn't working out. I'm like, you know what? I can't keep like stressing over this. Let me just stay away from it. So I practically didn't really do much yesterday. I took a nap in the afternoon. Like, let's just sleep with the dog. Let's go. And very conscious. I tell myself this too. If I'm constantly cribbing or not liking something I'm doing, I won't be enjoying this moment.
Yeah.
And 2 years later, I don't want to look back at this and be like, I was just so exhausted. What was the good part in it? Very consciously have to try and be in the moment and all enjoy what is already happening.
The process, right? It's the
The
journey, not
process.
the destination.
Yes, exactly.
Do you feel
Exactly.
like you're missing out on moments? I guess with the show timings that you have, it's easy to organize your day like that. In the evenings, you perform. In the daytimes, you spend time with family and friends. Is that how it is? Or
At some point, mom was like, "When are you even going to be home?" And I'm not
yeah,
even kidding. The next time I had lunch with them, I'm just like, "This feels new. I haven't done this in a while,
yeah.
or even dinner for that matter." Um, but
You take your guitar and start performing for them.
oh God, no. There came a point during that burnout phase, I think there came a point when I did not want to even touch my guitar,
Mm.
which is something I don't want to end up feeling like. This is
Yeah,
what I loved doing it started as a hobby. Um, and if I start feeling that way, that was my message. I'm like, Priyanka, you better take it slow before you lose yourself in this. So yeah, those constant reminders that I keep telling myself, I think is good. It makes
yeah.
me more aware of what's happening around me.
That's very interesting that you picked up the guitar because it felt good and that's what you thought was, meant for you. Now you don't want to put it down now that you're realizing it's getting a lot on your plate. So that's a very weird cycle to be in. Yeah. You want to do something else also, is it? Is there some other aspirations that you have?
Is there? Well, this is one for sure, and I
Yeah.
intend on. This is it, to be very honest. But I would love to ex explore the actor side of me, if that even exists.
You said you would like to see yourself doing this for a really long time. How do you define success, milestones, or parameters?
Success. Let's see. I think it would be when, wherever I am, and whichever indie gig that I do, I have the audience singing my lyrics back to me.
So far, what's been your favorite moment or memory? Is it a certain interaction with a fan or doing certain interview with, some notable,
But meeting another artist or,
yeah, meeting
yeah.
another artist, or what has been your favorite? I think it's different, maybe few favorites, yeah.
It has to be around Zomaland. My band and I, we practiced for as long as we could. We were set. For the first time, I was like, okay, you know what? We're good. We can't mess up on stage. Even if somebody does, we know where to pick up from. It's good. And I just tried to let go of my inhibitions of being on stage, hand movements, body movements, whatever here and there. And it turned out to be great. For the first time ever, I got the audience to sing a particular lyric back to me. And they did. I was like, whoa, this works. A song called Dear Hater that I haven't released. But I say dear, I'm like, you say hater. So I was like, dear. And it it felt good. That was a good Somaland for that matter. If anyone asks, it's great.
Thank you for doing this with us.
We absolutely loved having you on. Yeah, if you ever want to just talk, where to find us.
This the amount of questions I asked, now it felt for Priyanka with us. Like, how do you feel?
Negative, no? No, nothing was too negative.
Yeah.
It was good. Thank you. It was very nice and civilized and very good. Although I feel like I just talked too much.
Not enough, Priyanka.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We
Thank you for
just
doing
want to do justice to the experiences that are not on Instagram, right? All those emotions that you're
The
feeling through.
behind the
Yeah.
scenes of, Priyanka Nath.
Anything,
fine.
anything you would like to share? Final,
Yeah,
final words.
anything you want to say to
Very
everyone listening.
fun. Hello, everybody. This was a very fun podcast. I didn't even forget podcast, just the talk. Really
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
talk. I love how candid you guys are.
Mhm.
That's me. So I enjoy it when somebody also has the same energy going around. So yeah, it felt like home. It was good. Thank
Oh,
you.
that's nice.
Yeah, that's
That's
nice to
nice
hear. And we
yeah.
know that, doing
Yeah.
something right.
If you're enjoying the episode so far, please do make sure to follow our podcast show on Spotify, Apple Music, or any streaming platforms that you're listening to. And if you're on YouTube,
make sure to like, follow,